special guest this week. Let's get into some games. Wayne, what's the first game up tonight?
First game is 5-6 Jim versus 8-3 Tony.
All right, Blue, this is an interesting game. Tony's got a chance to really put himself in the front of the league, get that first round bye. Jim, really not fielding the lineup this week and already admitted it to us. So, interesting how that, the integrity question plays into it. First thing I think we should talk about is Tony's running backs. Adrian Peterson is hurt, but the surprise of the year might be Reggie Bush and Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles is really just playing the role of Reggie Bush in that New Orleans offense. And then you got Reggie Bush stretching out a little bit. He's running the ball more. Miami's offensive line. The Miami's offense is picking up a little bit, and Reggie Bush is really benefiting.
And now I'm glad, Jim, you're here because the next topic we want to talk about.
Let me just say real quick, I'm real happy to be here.
Thank you.
Real happy to be here with the picks, making the picks. The first guest on the show, I really appreciate that. Thanks, Pinnacle Live.
The first thing that we want to talk about with you for your team, Vic's been hurt off and on. You traded for Sam Bradford. He's been a little bit disappointing for you.
Well, I tend to agree. Yeah, Sam Bradford hasn't really been there much. He's a bum. He's a bum.
Blue?
Yeah, Bradford. I thought I had big expectations for Bradford in that offense. They went out and got a bunch of receivers for him to throw to, and nobody's really stepping up for him.
Wang, I understand you got something you want to add?
Yeah, I was a big fan of Bradford too. I think he's having a sophomore slump this year, and he'll have a bounce back year with a healthy Amendola and Brandon Lloyd if they re-sign him.
I think that accurate.
But they better do it quick because Steven Jackson's not getting any younger.
I tend to agree.
I tend to agree too.
So do I. All right, Blue, I understand you've got a special treat for us this week. We're going to do some over-unders on the games, talk about maybe who people should play in their lineups. What's your first one?
Well, for Tony, the over-under is Matt Stafford against Green Bay at home. The projected is 31.4.
I take the over. I think Green Bay's defense is giving up a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I think Stafford's got a chance to put up points in the high 30s. Jim?
I tend to agree.
It's going to be a thing.
I think Green Bay's going to go up quick, big. They're going to Detroit's going to be throwing the ball. Stafford's going to get a lot of passing yards. What do you think about that, Wink?
I concur. What's next?
I'm going to go with the under. Just because.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's make some picks. Jim, I think we know where you're going with this one.
I'm going to take Tony this one. I think he's fielding a great team there, and my team they're just not out there. It's just a bad roster. I don't know who would play that lineup, but I'm going to go with Tony.
I'm going to have some words with your head coach this week.
Yeah. Blue, what's your pick?
Tony's team is ripe for getting beat. I think Stafford's going to be coming a little bit down off of last week. Peterson out. He does not have a flex. But it's going to be a battle for who wants it the least, and I think Jim wants it the least. I'm gonna have to go with Tony.
I see it going the same way. I think both teams probably put up under 100 points. That Peterson game injury hurts, but I still like Tony in the game. Wayne?
Well, Jim's already said he's laying down for this game, so enough said. Tony. Okay. What about you, Nick?
I'm gonna take Jim in this.
All
I'm
right.
gonna take the surprise win. I'm gonna go with all hype.
I think more over there.
All right, Wayne. What's our next game?
Our next game is 5-6 Forest versus 8-3 Dale.
Okay, another one. Dale and Tony tied at the top of their division, top of their conference. Dale may be looking to stretch out a lead. If Tony loses or wins, Dale's got to keep pace. The first thing I'd like to talk about with this one is Antonio Brown. Coming off a bye, is he a must-start every week now?
Oh, I definitely think he's a must-start. He's getting more targets than Wallace, and that may be because Wallace is getting more attention from the defense. But Antonio Brown is doing a lot with his targets, and he's been catching a lot of passes. He's been a third down and a red zone target for Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, and Wayne, you had something that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, the last 4 games, Antonio Brown's averaging 13 points, which is okay, but he's been targeted 40 times in the last 4 games. That's second to only Brandon Lloyd with 49.
That's averaging 10 targets a game, which is quite a lot. 40 divided by 4 is 10. On Forrest's side of the ball, kind of a disappointing year, but this week, you really got to like Brady going up against that overhyped Eagles secondary.
Well, the Eagles allow 14.89 points to quarterbacks. So they look a little tough, but that may just be because they haven't faced Brady yet. Brady's getting 28.5 points per game, so I think that he'll go in and I think he'll get his points.
Jim, as the all-hype team in Pinnacle, do you have any thoughts on the Eagles' pass defense that was supposed to be really good this year?
No.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. I'm glad you're here. Not only on Pinnacle Insiders do we want to talk about the games, but we also want to talk about what this league is going to be like going forward. The future looks really bright for both of these teams. A lot of young additions for Dale through the draft, for Forrest through a couple of trades. How do you see the future for both of these teams?
Well, if you look at Dale's roster, really, Matt Ryan is the leader of that team. He's only 26 years old. Foster's 25. He's got a group of players at 24 years old. Macklin is 23. Carter's 24. Halu's 22. And Antonio Brown's only 23 years old. So the core of this team, if they can perform, will be together for a long time.
And on Forrest's side of the ball, he made that trade acquiring Kendall Hunter and Greg Little. Two guys that I think you and I both would agree have bright futures in the NFL as well in Pinnacle.
Well, match those two up with Julio Jones and see what Forrest drafts this year. I think he's got a good young core too.
Wayne, you had something you wanted to put in here?
Yes. Well, I think this depends on the off-season if we agree to have an expansion or not. By we, I mean them. And, I think if you look on the roster of both teams, they have at least 8 or 9 players that are very valuable. So, you can only protect 5. So, that could decimate both teams.
That's a valid point. And as always, Wang looking ahead.
And that was Wang's tip of the week.
That was Wang's just the tip of the week. So let's do some over-unders for this game. Blue, what do you got for us?
A real pivotal player, I think, for Dale this week will be Hakeem Nicks. His targets are down with Victor Cruz, Manningham, Jake Ballard. His over-under this week is 12.
I'll be honest, I'll take the under. New Orleans' pass defense isn't great, but they do a really good job against the number one receivers of other teams. And they tend to force a lot of turnovers. So I don't know if Hakeem Nicks gets into the end zone, but I do look for Victor Cruz to maybe have a big game. Jim?
Is this my pick?
As always, no.
Oh.
Hakeem Nicks over/under 12.
Oh, Hakeem Nicks. I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna take Mario Manningham and go over. Who's on Forrest's team?
Okay.
Which is 13.
Which is
13.
13.
Sure.
Let's take the over there. All right, let's make some picks. Blue, who do you like in this one?
Well, I like Dale in this one. I like Matt Ryan have a big week in Minnesota. Forrest running backs just not there yet. I think Gore's always got that injury problem, but he seems to keep playing. Sean Green is hurt right now. His receivers aren't that deep. I still think Nicks might not have a big week, but I think take him to over 12, and I pick him over Manningham.
All right. Jim?
I think Forrest. Forrest has had a lot of good matchups this year. He's has the exact same points as Tony has, the first place team. He's just been playing the wrong teams at the wrong time. I think he's going to get it together, and I think he's going to win this game.
I'm going to pick Dale. I think the matchups favor him a little bit. You got Foster going up against Jacksonville, Mendenhall going up against Kansas City, Mendenhall maybe, going up against Kansas City. I think his running backs outscore Forrest, and that's what puts him over the top. Wayne?
Well,
I'm taking Dale.
Okay.
if you look at Dale's losses there when Foster's not in the lineup, and he's welcomed back after a bye, it looks like he'll be more than welcome to fill a running back position.
All right. Wang, what's the next pick? Next game.
Next game is 5-6 Nick versus the 7-4 Montana. It's a big game.
This is our game of the week for the Sanders Conference. Montana's up by 2 games on Nick. If Nick wins out and Montana loses out, Nick wins the division as long as he beats Montana by 27 points this week. So it's a big game. Technically, Nick is still mathematically in it. But how do you see it playing out?
I don't like Nick's chances. I think the wins could go his way, but the big number I'm seeing is that 27. He's got to go 27.3 points, and I don't know I think he can beat Montana, but I don't think he can beat him by that much.
All right, and next, when you look at Montana's team, the last 3 weeks, he's looked like the best team in the league. I talked to one of my sources in the league who's really close to the situation. They told me today they feel like Montana's team might not be the best team in the league, but it's the scariest team in the league.
Well, he's got some bombers. All those guys on his team can go off for big points. But with bombers, you're going to have some down weeks too. Roethlisberger's a bomber. Forte's a bomber. Vincent Jackson. Gronkowski's a bomber. If it all aligns for him and they keep going at the right time, I think he's going to be very dangerous.
And I think the biggest surprise of the Pinnacle week is Nick benching the Lions defense. I think, Jim, you've known Nick for a long time.
Yeah.
He's pretty big Lions fan.
He likes the Lions.
He likes the Lions. So I think we're all sort of shocked he's going with Oakland, but we all think it's a good idea.
Oh, I don't.
You don't?
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
You're going against Chicago. I understand. What's their name? Cutler's out.
Right.
So whoever they have, Caleb's probably gonna throw some picks.
Caleb Haney.
Caleb Haney. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
Got it.
But it's Detroit. It's Thanksgiving. I think they're going to play. I think they're gonna get some turnovers. They're gonna get some pressure on the quarterback. I know it was pretty elusive, and he's gonna score his points. But I think Detroit's defense is gonna outscore the Raiders' defense this week, and I think that's why I'm gonna take Montana in this.
We're not there.
Oh, sorry.
Well, congratulations. That's why we don't have owners on our show very often, folks. So, Blue, your thoughts on the starting of Oakland defense rather than the Lions?
You still got Forte in that Chicago offense, and I think they'll use him a lot, if not more than normal. The Raiders' defense statistically hasn't been that good. Fantasy-wise, they haven't been that good. But I think I might go with them too because Green Bay is dangerous. The only way I see the Lions winning is if they can get to Aaron Rodgers early and often. And it's too much of a risk.
It's going to be tough.
It can happen. I could see it happening. It happened last year. But it's too much of a risk to put your fantasy team.
I agree. And, this just into the Pinnacle Insiders, Aaron Rodgers is pretty good. He's been carving up defenses quite a bit lately. Let's do some over-unders for this one.
Okay, over-under for Montana. Gronkowski, 15.8.
I'm going to take the over. Once again, we're talking about the Eagles' defense like we talked about for Brady, for Forrest. They're a little bit overplayed, a little bit overhyped. They also don't defend the tight end very well. I think Gronkowski could have a monster game this week.
I think we're going to go with... I think Brady is going to go more with Aaron Rodgers. I know there's been some talk about Tom Brady being a little racist, and he's going to have to use some affirmative action here and go with Aaron Hernandez over Gronkowski. He's maybe used a little bit of Deion Branch this week.
Okay. Wayne, I understand you have something you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think Montana's big, one of his big successes, Gronkowski. In the last 3 games, he accounts for 18% of Montana's total offense from his tight end. So I think that is, usually get that type of number from your, quarterback or your top-tier running back.
It's a slippery slope to ride with just a tight end scoring that much of your offense. Let's make some picks. Blue, who do you like in this one?
Well, I'm going to go with Montana here because I'm not picking this straight up. I'm picking this plus the 27 points because that's what Nick's playing for. He's got to beat Montana. He's got to beat him by 27, so I'm taking Montana plus 27.
I'm actually going to pick Nick in this one. I think Montana's win streak comes to an end. I think DeMarco Murray's going to have a good game against Miami. Stevie Johnson might make a comeback against the Jets. I like Nick in this one. Wayne, who do you like?
I'm taking Montana.
Montana.
Sorry, Nick.
Montana.
Nick, who you taking?
I'm gonna take my team.
He's going to take his team.
And I'm gonna beat him by 33 points.
Take care of business.
That's the unbiased opinion we want from our Pinnacle owners.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the Sanders Conference. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors for the Spielman.
Actually, we have time for an email.
Oh, thanks, Wayne. What do you
This
got?
is from an anonymous emailer from DC.
Oh.
He wants to know what goes on under the table. He sees that beverages are stored under the table and the shirts are untucked. Is there a midget under there servicing you? I'll hang up and listen.
Listen, we've gotten a lot of tweets and Facebook comments about this, and I want to dispel these rumors right now. We do not have, nor have we ever, allowed our midget to be under this table. It's something that we don't believe.
No midgets were harmed in the taping.
No. And I don't believe that they ever will be.
By midget, we mean little people. Sorry about that.
We'll be right back.